feels like, it smells like. I don't know. It seems like this is a revolution.
This is Isaiah Cassidy. I'm Mark Quinn, and we're Private Party.
And you're listening to the All Elite Podcast.
Yo, you're listening to All Elite Podcast. Boom. And it is the worst podcast ever. We live! Ow!
Hi, this is Brandon Cutler, and you are listening to the All Elite Podcast.
This is the All Elite Podcast, which happens to be the worst podcast I've ever been on. SCU!
How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the All Elite Podcast, right here on the No Holds Barred Network, your source for all wrestling podcast content and more. I am your host, as always, your self-proclaimed greatest host and your live host. We're finally back live this week on YouTube.
We're live, pal.
Yeah, we're live. I'm Kyle Masters, and as you heard, that's not Tiffany. And unless Tiffany just suddenly got a deep voice, that ain't her. This is someone else that's joined the podcast, a member of the No Holds Barred Network. But don't let me introduce him. I'm going to let him introduce him. I'm not going to pull a Tiffany here. I'm going to let Ray do it the right way. So, Ray, take it away.
I don't have to listen to a bunch of nicknames or Kyle. I get to just hear one or two, and it's okay. So what's up, guys? This is the Law Ray Ramundo. It seems like I've had a busy week so far on the network. Yeah. Like, I thought I was done last night, and I got pulled back in. Yeah. And we're live with AEP.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad to have you on, brother. We're here to talk some AEW, brother. And
here we go.
We're going to wish Tiff a happy day today. She's taking a little bit of a mental health break. So, Tiffany, hope you're doing all right. thoughts and prayers out to you. And she'll be back next week on the show as we are getting so close. It's episode 98. We are one more episode away from AEP 100. Next week's episode is special as well. You know what, Ray? I think we're going to pull you in again. We're going to do the all-out predictions, so you better clear your schedule up. You're going to be joining me and Tiff for that.
I'll be back.
Yeah. You just walk in Schwarzenegger style, be like, I'm back, here to do all out. Anyways, guys, welcome to the All Elite Podcast, where myself and usually Tiff, but Ray today, talk about everything in that AEW world. We talk about BTE, Dark, Dynamite, everything AEW related. We got a lot in the docket today. No BTE since myself and Tiff already talked about that on Monday, because last week's episode had to be moved to Monday due to Dynamite being on Saturday. This week being another special time of Thursday, and then we're back to normal starting next week until I believe it's the end of September is the next change they do for Dynamite. I think it was either the third or fourth week of September. So when we get there, we'll know when we schedule the next AEP. But anywho, interesting week for AEW, that's for sure. Again, another week where they didn't go head to head with NXT, and they were kind of on their own. And last Saturday, I think they did all right. The viewership numbers were average as always, like in the high 700,000s, which is like the average for AEW and usually NXT. Obviously, they were going head to head as well with NXT. Actually, they were on Saturday. It was a TakeOver. I think.
Yeah, they technically still went against them with the pay-per-view, but even then, I feel like they pulled in some good numbers.
Yeah, I think it was decent.
For those that care about the numbers so much.
Yeah, I know. There's, it's funny. You see the people arguing about the numbers and stuff. Then those are like the same people who are like, oh, but it's not about the numbers. But I'm like, you're sitting there arguing about the numbers, so you obviously do care about the numbers. But I mean, we're with those people who just we watch what we like, and that's end of story. Numbers are not going to show. It's like if I love AEW, and the numbers are showing low, it's like, ooh, I liked what I seen, but no, the numbers are not showing, so I don't like it anymore. That's not how it works.
You know what would be funny? I bet there is someone out there that's like, oh man, I can't say I liked it because the numbers are down. Tweet out something bad. Tweet out something.
I love WWE. Thunderdome, brother. Yeah. Anywho. AEW this week was back with crowd. We actually had 10% or 15% capacity, which they were able to do being an outdoor venue, which is good. Everyone was in masks, and I know you had you heard something with the masks.
Yes, I actually heard some news about that. They had security on hand. They had some extra help just to secure that people were wearing their mask and wearing them throughout the broadcast. That way there was no chance of cross-contamination or anything like that. And there were people actually even getting kicked out for not wanting to wear their masks.
Well, there you go.
So at least you can say that AEW is trying to do it the right way and making sure their fans are safe, especially with the announcements that happened today.
Yeah. And
like they're going to want to keep it going.
Yeah. With them being in a state where Florida is a hotbed in the United States for COVID. For them to take precautions way more serious than a lot of places is showing you a lot at how AEW is running things through this pandemic. And myself and Tiff mentioned it on the last show. The fact that they also countered the ticket sellers who were buying the tickets and reselling them because they're selling them in first in pods. The fact that when people showed up last night, they're like, okay, we're still going to put you guys in pods. Who's in your group? Okay, we're going to put you here. Who's in your group? Okay, we're going to keep you in the same section. We're just going to put you over here. So the fact that they did that was amazing. And I noticed a big difference, especially with the crowd noise. They didn't have to pump in that really horrible crowd noise that we've been hearing the last couple of weeks that sometimes it's so loud, and I mentioned it in the last show, that you can't even hear the commentators. Like I don't think they had like a balance on controlling that.
Yeah, and I get what they're trying to do. They were trying to make it that realism feel, but it's like, especially for TV, you're gonna watch it and be like, that doesn't even sound natural. No, it doesn't sound like it's happening, and it just overshadows even the action. Like last night felt real again. It felt like they were able to feed off the crowd. Like we'll talk about it during the segments, but that it just felt great again to see fans.
Yeah.
So
that was good. And as you said, They made the announcement. Tickets are on sale, guys. Put you on the first one on the screen for you guys next week, it'll be on Wednesday again. Wednesday Night Dynamite, September 2nd. Tickets are on sale if you are in that area. Tickets start at $35. The doors opening at 6:30. Event starting at 7:30. And they're will on sale this Saturday. So tomorrow at 10 a.m. those tickets will go on sale. And here comes the big one. All Out is going to feature crowd. Yes, we're going to have a crowd at All Out, which is great. Again, same capacity restrictions, and tickets start at $50. Can you imagine that? $50 for a pay-per-view ticket that they start at. So that's pretty cool. So doors open at 5:30. Event starts at 7. Again, those tickets will go on sale tomorrow as well at 10 a.m. So big that they're continuing this.
Yeah, I'm kind of sad though. Like now I really... Like, due to all this pandemic stuff, I feel like a lot of us probably would have been at All Out.
Right.
And it sucks with the situation we're in. But at least some fans will be able to get to attend live and will get that real fan feel at the pay-per-view next Saturday.
Yeah, and I
It'll
mean,
give a different element.
Me and Tiff even talked about earlier in the year, I think pre-pandemic, about possibly making the trip to Chicago for All Out, because that's where all indications were saying that All Out was going to be in Chicago again.
Yep.
So I probably would have made the trip down and seen All Out, another AEW pay-per-view to add to my list here. But I know it stinks. It kind of makes me wish that I lived in that Jacksonville area just to attend these shows, man. That'd be something else. But I think it worked. I think for what they did last night, it definitely worked. It was definitely a good result out of that. Yeah, speaking of All Out, I can't wait for that. It's coming up next Saturday. Cannot wait for that.
It's gonna be.
And that
It's gonna
means
be huge.
Yeah, and next week's a go-home show. Next week is a big go-home show. Next week, Jericho will take on Joey Janela. The Demo God getting he called a tune-up match. He's on commentary this week. That should be an interesting type of match there. Not sure how that's going to go. I mean, Joey Janela has been hot lately with his tag team partner, Sonny Kiss. So him going into a singles action, I wonder if he still got it. We'll have to see.
Yeah, definitely.
This is an interesting tag team match. I love this dynamic. It's different. You usually don't see this type of stipulation, but there's going to be an 8-man tag. So it's going to be Private Party and SCU teaming up together to face the Young Bucks and Jurassic Express of Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. Now, whatever team wins here, the teams will actually face each other at All Out. So if SCU and Private Party win this match, they will face each other at All Out. And then if the Bucks win on their side, they'll face Jurassic Express at All Out. So this is interesting just because of the teams that they put together here. Like, I'm like, okay.
I like it though. Like, it's gonna be an interesting dynamic, but I feel like I'm kind of looking forward to the winning team though, because now either pairing, I kind of want to see face. Like, I would love to see. I'm a little biased, but I would love to see Private Party on All Out, because this is what I'm hoping. That's gonna be their first time on the pay-per-view.
Yeah, and this is interesting.
I'm hoping
too,
this
though.
isn't a kickoff matchup here.
That's what I mean. This one's interesting. It's like the winner goes to All Out to have a normal tag team match. There's no stipulation. There's no, unless it's going to be a number one. They're going to change to a number one contendership match or what. I really don't know what the play is here. And I kind of wish we got a little bit more, but I guess we'll have to see. But it does kind of scream buy-in pre-show, I guess you can call it, unless they have the Casino Battle Royal being the pre-show, which so far, after seeing the list of people that are in it after this week, I don't think that's going to be pre-show, because there's a lot of main TV guys already being slated to go into that.
Yeah, there's some serious star power going in there. But I feel like that would be the perfect match to be the buy-in, though. Because I feel like you're going to want to see a huge, 20-man match like that. It's going to draw people in, and that'll get them to want to purchase the show.
Yeah, that's also true on that side of it.
Like,
But it'll be interesting to keep an eye on that tag team match next week to see how if they usually probably would announce it maybe during the match or after, like near the end of the night, going into the go home phase for All Out. And then last but not least, a grudge tag team match next week. Santana and Ortiz, Proud and Powerful, taking on the Best Friends, and we all know the story behind this. And poor old Sue, who does not have a caravan anymore to drive around.
It was a nice van, too. It was a pretty nice van.
It was all right. It was a nice soccer mom van. It was all right.
I'm not going to lie. I feel like that match should have been on All Out.
Yeah.
I don't mind it being on the go home because that's kind of the point of the go home show. You want big things to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like we have enough story there. They've been pumping this storyline.
Yeah.
Either next week ends in controversy or something has to happen that we're going to still get this match somehow, some way on the pay-per-view, I feel like.
Yeah.
Something has to happen.
You know what? I wouldn't mind if they had a match next week. Something happens, you said like that, and they have another match because these two actually have insane chemistry together. Just from seeing them in the ring, like this is a tag team match that I could watch any day and not be upset about. I just hope that if they're gonna do something like this at All Out, me and Tiff have mentioned it before. Sue's got to be involved in some way. There's got to be like an apology. Like if Proud and Powerful lose, they got to sit there and like apologize, maybe on their knees or something to Sue, or buy her a new caravan, something like that. You know what I mean?
I could see Proud and Powerful getting her like a pimped out van. Like it's gonna be all nice and new, probably like the Puerto Rican flag like coming off it. Like just something like
Oh man. Yep. So an interesting
they'll get what was his name? Oh man, I forgot the guy's name that makes t-shirts. But you know where I'm going.
Yeah.
Like they'll have him do something very special and Sue will be happy.
Yeah. Well, you know who else will be happy are us watching the match because it's definitely an entertaining match. Those two guys going at it, especially Proud and Powerful. They're so entertaining to watch. So yeah, lots leading up to next week's Go Home show. Even starting tonight, if you are a member of AEW Heels, yes, they have a very interesting summer soiree Zoom event tonight. This is going to be interesting. It's at 8 p.m. If you guys have done AEW Heels, you know what to do. If you haven't, go to alleliteheels.com and find out how you can sign up for this. There's going to be an exclusive Q&A with Big Swole. There'll be a mental health discussion with Candice Franco, a PhD licensed psychologist for AEW. There's going to be a tutorial with Sandra Gray, AEW's head seamstress. She's going to bling. They're saying to bling out your fave AEW t-shirt with Sandra. She's going to teach you how to bling it out and be ready for fabric glue, crystals, and scissors. So, Tiff, unfortunately, no glitter.
I feel like Tiff's gonna want to attend that just to learn how to bling out,
right?
Because she's always talking about how Quinn has his glittered out shirts and stuff. Tiff, you got to join this Zoom call, or how we say on BTE, El Zoom
call. A special prize giveaway, merch items available for pre-orders and more. And they have in brackets, feel free to rock your summer garden party attire. So make sure you wear them heels at AEW Heels. So yeah, so for you ladies out there, very fun night planned for you guys. I love the whole AEW Heels dynamic. I'm loving what they're doing for you ladies out there. It's really, really cool. Other than that,
awesome.
Yeah, I got nothing else. We'll talk about all the all-out matches after we talk about Dynamite. Dark this week wasn't too bad. I didn't mind it. There was a lot of cool matches on there. There's a lot of teams and people on Dynamite are building a lot of momentum, which I'm hoping that it transitions to Dynamite. I hope that's like the point of Dark. If you build a lot of momentum of Dark, you're going to get your opportunities on Dynamite or even the pay-per-view, because a guy like, I'll bring one up, Sean Spears, who's been hot in 2020. I think he's lost one match in all of 2020, and I think that was the match where, he had the Tully crotch shot. That was that was his only loss of 2020. But other than that, like, Sean Spears has been on a roll ever since getting that legendary glove. The fist packing that goes on after the match. He's been building a lot of momentum. So I hope there's something to this. Like, there's got to be an end game here.
Hopefully so. Because I was gonna even say, like, I had this in my notes of, I feel like that was match of the night for Dark. Like, the match between him and Jesse Sorensen was great.
He was a good build for Sean Spears. Sorry, it was. I thought it was a pretty good match, and it went on longer than I thought it was going to. And I love Sean Spears using the Death Valley Driver as his finisher now, and you see how angry he gets when he delivers it. Like, he stomps around like almost like Ryback-esque and then delivers it. And he's
definitely given that storytelling. He's trying to tell the story that a finisher should be a finisher.
Yeah, exactly.
He's making it. He's giving that classic feel, and I feel like it has to do with Tully. Like, you want to tell that story. Like, now Tully with FTR, Tully with Sean. It's like they're gonna bring classic wrestling back. And he's making sure his finish is a finish. But the biggest part to me in that matchup was the storytelling for those that know who Jesse Sorensen is, was that neck shot. Because even Taz alluded to it. He didn't want to mention where he knew Sorensen from. But for those that do know, Jesse Sorensen was a part of TNA. He was a part of that X division.
See, now I knew he looked familiar, and I couldn't put my finger on it. Now you just literally cleared it up for me. Thank you.
Yeah, so he was that guy that unfortunately, due to a miscommunication with a move, he broke his neck basically. Taking a moonsaw from Zima Ion, it caused him to, like, something happened. I don't know medical term for it, but basically breaking his neck. Ooh. And that, like, took out his career for a while.
Yikes.
Like, I guess that's why they're saying, like, the gimmick now is him, that he can't be broken to, I guess, continue on the story. And I hope to see Jesse Sorensen continue with AEW.
Yeah.
He had a good showing here with Shawn. It was a great match.
Yeah. You know what he resembles, and I had someone pointed out to me, if I was in better shape, I think I'd look like Jesse Sorensen, because we literally have the same hairline. We have almost the same beard when I let it grow out. And someone told me that I had the same face as him. And I'm like, you guys be the judge. Look at me right now. Do I look like
I can see it. I can see it. Just, I guess, get a few more tattoos, maybe?
Maybe. I literally have 0, so.
Get some ink, and then I guess you'll be twins. You'll be twinning.
So that happened on Dark. You know what's hilarious? I find so funny. I don't know why. I laugh every time when she comes out and she gets introduced like this. So Red Velvet, when she gets introduced from your mama's kitchen, and she's doing like the stir the pot thing coming out. I'm like, that's got to be like the most hilarious introduction to come to the ring I've ever heard in my entire life. That's got to be the funniest one.
Yeah, it definitely, like, she has that charisma.
Yeah,
I definitely like it. I've seen Red Velvet before. She's definitely a big part of, like, that Florida scene. Yeah. So it's great to see her get these opportunities. And even though unfortunately she did lose this matchup, it got her over. She definitely got over with the AEW fan base. And I feel like, who knows, maybe she could be a big part in the future of AEW's women's
Hopefully,
division.
They need to build that division a little more.
Definitely.
Brandon Cutler and Avalon can't seem to find a win still. I don't know if the initiative is a good. They were going through their singles drought, and they became a team, and now they're going through their tag team drought. I don't know when their first win's ever gonna come, but they lose to Luther and Serpentico this week. So poor those two just can't get on the same page, even with cheating and not cheating.
I was hoping this was gonna be the win, because it's like, this was the most random thrown together team they faced, and they still couldn't get a win.
I'm like, if they lose to these two, I don't know if there's any hope, and they lose.
You know what's gonna happen? They're gonna get a tag team title shot, just a random tag team title shot.
Oh my god! And
that's where they're gonna win. It's gonna be like, no one's gonna expect it. Everyone's gonna be like, oh, it's just a tune-up match.
I kind of feel they need a full crowd for this. They need they need full capacity.
I think that's what they're waiting for. Now that we're getting the crowd little by little, it's gonna happen. That crowd reaction can be seen. Yeah. Because we'll pop. We're gonna be popping for Cutler footage, getting the gold and getting a win finally.
Right. Nyla Rose made quick work of Kylie King. You know, I really like Kylie King. I hope that she gets a big part of the division as well. But her and Vicky seem to be building that pairing together. At first, I was a little sour on it. I wasn't really sure how to feel for it, but I think she's transitioning into a pretty good manager for Nyla Rose. I hope that continues and they build on that.
Yeah, I liked it. I like where they're going, and I think Vicky is a perfect, like, even though I don't think Nyla really needs the mouthpiece, quote unquote, I feel like having Vicky there just for her veteran tutelage, it can help. It can help. Like, the name Guerrero has a lot of stock in this business.
Yeah.
So Vicky being there, it's going to be great to continue to see. And hopefully, maybe Nyla Rose a future title shot again. Like,
hopefully.
Nyla needs to get back into that title contention.
There's a couple more matches, too. Some notable ones that I've seen. I mean, TH2's back. I'm happy that they're back. It's been a while. I think they're a very, very underrated tag team. They actually beat Janela and Kiss, who were on a roll. Like, Janela and Kiss they were like 8-1 or 9-1 going into this match. Yep. So they were on a roll as well. So I don't think this has really killed the momentum. This is kind of just like a welcome back win for TH2, and I hope they get the momentum going as well, because they are very good.
It made sense for something like this, because now TH2 gets to prove again, like these newer teams, this newer talent, they still can't match them because they're trying to prove like they're the best athletes. They're the hybrid of all wrestling. And Janela and Kiss have been doing well though.
Yeah.
Like they're the perfect like combination of like modern day tri-state wrestling, I feel like. Because they wrestle a similar style that a lot of like the New Jersey crowd would say they've seen back in the day.
Okay.
And they're bringing that back and making it something different. And I feel like this match doesn't hurt either team. And it works. Hybrid 2 needs to start getting back into it. Hopefully we can see them on Dynamite eventually, though.
Hopefully.
Because we've seen them a lot on Dark, and we need to finally get them back on TV. I kind of was thinking they were going to be the match for Private Party. I thought we were going to do it like a year later and have them face off again.
That would be cool. That would be really cool. I think that I know it's too late to explore that, but if there was room, I probably would try to explore that. I mean, there are other teams in matches. Best Friends were in matches. Proud and Powerful were in a match. There are a lot of matches on Dark this week. Ricky Starks had a match. Jake Hager and Marcos.
Ricky looked well, I think, in his match. Like Ricky is again showing why he's that good and just showing why Taz chose him to be a part of the team Taz.
Yeah,
like it's looking good. But I think again, like even though it was the main event, I feel like Kip Sabian got to showcase a lot.
Oh, yeah. That was interesting. So that was like a non-usual type of Dark match that we haven't seen in a while. Like usually it's like a enhancement talent versus an AEW talent. This is a straight-up AEW versus AEW, Kip Sabian versus Frankie Kazarian. And they put on a sweet match. And like you said, I think Kip definitely got a big showcase in that. That guy is so good. Like I'm a huge fan of Kip Sabian, man. I think this guy deserves a push eventually. I know I don't know. I don't know if the whole like making out with. I know your girlfriend's hot and you got Penelope Ford by your side. I mean, any guy would love that. I'm just saying that, you know, the whole make out thing every single week. It's getting dry, man. Like we need something else.
At least Dark showed he can still go.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like he's not just a gimmick. Like he definitely. When you put him against Kazarian, either you're gonna go or you're gonna get outworked. And I feel like it was an even match. Both guys went great. A veteran like Kazarian. And Kip Sabian did some amazing work. Like that pop up into the knee, it popped me. Like I was like, oh man, like it looks great how he does it. And hopefully again, Kip Sabian gets something. Like I know he was supposed to be in this tag run that got kiboshed because of reasons. And now hopefully they bring him back and maybe for a TNT run, hopefully.
Oh,
something around there.
Man, I would love to see him in that. Like and plus this guy names his moves after Harry Potter, so obviously that's like 100%. You're my guy in my books. Like you're on the list. like not my list of husbands, but my list of favorite wrestlers. Let us not get confused with Tiffany's list here.
Oh man, I think that list has changed by last night's episode to today.
When is it not changing? Sorry,
it's
Tiff.
Changing as we speak. Hi, Tiff. Sorry, Tiff's gonna kill us.
Yeah, we're gonna get an earful. But yeah, Dark again, another loaded show, lots of matches, lots of talent. Guys, if you guys miss Dark every single week, please don't watch it, man. It's like you're getting 2 AEW shows a week, and it's literally an hour out of your day, and it's on YouTube, so you don't have to watch it on Tuesday. It could be today. You can watch this week's episode of Dark. Like it's good. And there's a lot of stuff on there that happens sometimes that transitions to Dynamite. So it makes sense a lot of the time, and it makes sure you're watching BTE too, because I think from what I've seen, just reading through social media, a lot of people were confused as to why Joey Silver this week was laughing so much and Brody Lee attacking, giving him a big smack. If you're not watching BTE, you have no idea what that's all about. Stuff happens
Kyle,
on these other shows.
It's John Silver.
Sorry, John Silver. What did I say?
You said Joey Silver. That's another one of Tiff's husbands.
Oh, sorry.
Shame.
So John Silver. Shame. Yeah, I don't have my bell. I literally don't know where that went. Anyways, so if you're not watching BT or you're not watching stuff like Dark, these things are going to go right over your head. So that's important
You're
to watch.
not going to get where they got the money to buy these cars or anything like that.
Right?
Like, come on, guys. You got to watch BT. You got to understand why it's all connects. Like, there's nothing like this product. There's nothing that's like, we're going to have as much storyline be told on a YouTube show as much as our TV product. Like, there's so much storytelling on BTE that leads into this show as well. So you want to watch everything and just have fun, because BTE is, what is it, 30 minutes of just
it's hilarious
comedy?
And it's so funny.
Come on, guys.
That's what I mean. Like John Silver, can never hold it in on BTE. Can never hold it in. He's always
man.
like anything that's been said seriously on BTE, he just can't hold it in. And then it kind of showed this week. He got hit, but if you look at him when he went to the ground, he was laughing.
John Silver needs to learn that this trick, like a lot of like people are taught in wrestling. If you ever feel like you're gonna laugh when taking a move or something like that, bite your tongue. John Silver needs to learn this trick because he just like he breaks so much. Like John Silver can never work on SNL.
Oh no,
he would just break during every bit.
You couldn't do anything on SNL. He just there'd be an ultra serious scene. He'd be like doing this the whole time. But yeah, let's talk about Dynamite this week. It was
here we go.
Very interesting episode. I thought, again, like we said earlier, the crowd being back, it made a huge difference. We don't get the piped in one. We still got the wrestlers at ringside, which helps as well. Actually, we got to see the biggest, I guess you can say the biggest wrestler fans of all time that AEW's had, who've been at ringside each and every single week and probably the loudest at ringside. The Gun Club actually had a match on Dark, so I'm glad that they're finally getting the dad and son duo
it was
going.
great to see. It was great to see them finally wrestle because I feel bad because Austin can really go and they haven't given him a chance to showcase. Like, let Austin wrestle.
His dad's had more matches than he is. His dad's been around the block and back. He doesn't need more matches.
Oh man, but let's talk about it. Let's go to Dynamite. Yeah. I feel like as good as last night was, last night could have been the go home show and I was happy.
Oh yeah,
like that's how good last night's show was. But let's get into it, Kyle.
Yeah.
Where do we start off? Because we started off like hot. We started off hot.
Oh yeah, we started with the gauntlet. So let's talk about the gauntlet, man. That gauntlet was very interesting. Now I tweeted out a tweet because I'm not sure how this goes. So obviously, if you win the tag team gauntlet, that's going towards your record. Of course. Because the gauntlet is like almost like Rumble style, where it's one team after another. If you lose in that gauntlet, does that go towards your record?
See, now I was thinking the same because technically, if you go by it, the Young Bucks, but also for the teams that started out, does that win count as a separate win?
Yeah, that's true too.
That brings me, because Young Bucks get a win technically, but they also get a loss if we're going by the record book, technically. So it's like, I wonder if Tony Khan's going to explain that possibly at the media juncture, maybe after All Out.
I mean, I did tweet at him, but
explain that, hopefully.
Probably won't get a tweet back because guy probably gets 1 million tweets a day. So.
Oh, I can imagine. Not even just AEW related, just because he does so much.
Jaguars, his soccer team. Yeah.
Like the poor guy, his Twitter mentions must be off the roof. He's probably getting more mentions right now. So it's like. So
that's why I want to know because
Kilroy.
They
Kilroy
made
says about Judas.
Oh, the crowd singing it. Yeah, that was great. Right in the opening, that was fantastic. That was. And they let it. It felt so good. I could feel the emotion. That's how awesome it was to have some sort of crowd back. But yeah, as for the gauntlet with the losses and the wins, it's going to be interesting to see because they made mention of best friends going into that match. They had a big, really good record. I think they only had one loss in that record, and they've had such a big 2020. Like now, are you chalking an L on that record now because they lost in a gauntlet? Like that's why I really don't know how that's gonna go. Like I don't know if it's just the records don't count for this. It's just a way to determine a number one contender without having a win-loss record come into effect because of the type of match. I really would want to know if a win is gonna only count and the losses don't, or if both or neither. Like I kind of want clarification. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go watch back. I'm gonna see because you know how this is their records and their little name cards. I'm going to go check what the Young Bucks was, and then I'm going to go to the AEW Wrestlers page and see what their record says on there, and then I guess that's kind of how we're going to know who or if it does count. But the gauntlet was sweet. It was a fire gauntlet. We started out with QT Marshall and Dustin with the Bucks, and God, I just can't believe Dustin, man. The guy at his age to do what he does.
He doesn't lose a step. The guy has not lost a step, and I feel like he's getting better. I don't know how he's gotten better with age.
He's going to time machine.
Fine wine like the cliche. It's like a fine wine because the guy can move. Like last night, they made the joke about him getting winded, but then 2 seconds later, he's going Irish Whip, Power Slam, Irish Whip. What happened?
Canadian Destroyer.
Just blown up. Like what? Like,
Well, for a guy his age and his build to pull off a Canadian Destroyer, I know there's a lot of help from the other wrestler, but seriously, that's a tough move to pull off cleanly to protect your opponent. So for him to do them off cleanly and protecting your opponent at the same time at his age, and I applaud him like a bunch.
oh wait, no, we have to correct it. Chris Jericho has stated it is the Texas Destroyer.
Oh, Texas
So
Destroyer.
never
Okay.
mentioned, because Dustin never has gotten close to Canada.
Okay.
I love let's mention that as well. I love Jericho on commentary.
Oh man, if he
I feel
retires,
like I could get Jericho on commentary every week.
if he
Like,
retires in the ring, 100% he needs to go on commentary. I think you could, or at least like share the duties with like a Chavone or a JR. Like if you want to give JR like a couple of month vacation, you have Jericho come in and do that. Because I think when Jericho's done wrestling, obviously he's going to be focusing a lot, obviously probably on Fozzy and continuing to do that. And then he'll be maybe AW more part time on a basis like that. And then he can be a commentator part time or and obviously a backstage help. This guy's going to have knowledge of the wrestling business that's going to be beyond anybody they bring in, and for him to be a backstage help is going to be big for AEW's future. But him on commentary, absolute solid gold on commentary. He's so funny. The Gauntlet was fun. I think the big story though out of it was Hangman Page, and I guess the title of this podcast: Why Hangman Page? Why did you cost the Bucks? It's finally happening. We're finally getting, and of course, it's the time we get people in the crowd. They're finally going through with this story. This story's been dragged out and has been happening for a while now with the whole Hangman getting away from the Elite. This has been going on since AEW started back last October. So it's been a long time coming, and now it's finally, the bubble has burst on this episode of Dynamite, right? It's finally burst.
This is why I say, like, this right here could have been the go home, because that segment, that little bit, just seeing Hangman, like, that little switch just go, like, it's like, at home, I'm like all jumping out of my seat, like, wait, he's doing it. What are you doing? Why, Hangman? Why?
I can't believe they pulled the trigger. That literally shocked me. Like, that stuff like that is why you watch AEW. Like, unexpected. Like, that's unexpected. I don't think anyone could have predicted before the show saying, you know what, this is the episode. Hangman's going to interrupt and he's going to cost the Young Bucks. No one would have predicted that.
I feel like, you know what it is? They had to do it now because so many people are probably expecting, oh, Hangman's going to turn at the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Hangman's going to turn on Kenny.
Or Kenny turns into the
and
cleaner.
now it's like we don't know what's going to happen.
Maybe they both.
They kicked out Hangman.
Yeah.
So he's no longer part of the Elite. He has no allegiance technically to them. So what's going to happen now?
I think
Does
Elite
Kenny
crumbles.
still turn as well?
I think so.
Like,
I think the Elite crumbles and there's no more Elite. Like, the Bucks are just on their own. Cody's with his Nightmare family. Hangman's gone. Kenny turns into the cleaner.
Yeah, they never mentioned that. Is Cody still considered Elite? Like, what happens with Cody?
Because
now technically, do we only have 3 members of the Elite now? Just the Bucks and Kenny, basically.
Yeah. I don't think Cody's a part of it. I think he's more leaning towards his brand. Obviously, I think more towards his brand because it's freaking tattooed on his neck. That ain't going anywhere. So I think he's more of a Nightmare family. I think he wants that to be his brand.
Okay.
So I think the Elite's done.
This leaves so many questions, and this is the perfect thing because you want to do it. It gets people to buy the paper.
Yeah,
because now you want to watch it. You want to watch and see what's gonna happen next.
Are the Bucks gonna screw over Kenny and Hangman?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh wait, do they subsequently just try to screw Hangman?
Yeah.
But end up costing
Kenny, and then that's where Kenny turns into the cleaner, and there's the Elite's gone.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
see, I want to talk about. If anything, we'll talk about that more next week when we get into the predictions. Now that's giving me so many ideas in my head.
Right.
Oh, good.
So, we saw what happened later on the night when they kind of confronted Hangman, and he obviously was in a bar.
Of course.
And they're like, oh, of course, we found you in a bar. And the Young Bucks, they popped. They finally couldn't hold it in anymore. They literally put an owl on the table, calling him a drunk, saying that you haven't been the same since we started AEW. We were calling you out. We know you don't want to be part of the Elite. Fine. You're out. You're gone. And they slammed the door, and this was so perfectly done with the slamming of the door, the shattering of the glass, and Hangman looking at himself in the shattered glass. Like, oh my God, Hollywood. like Hollywood stuff happening.
It's perfect
right here.
storytelling. Yeah. It's perfect storytelling. And I feel I'm kind of offended though. Why'd they have to waste the alcohol? But
Oh yeah, they splashed it in his face. Yeah.
it's like, come on, don't waste good whiskey.
Right.
But it's so perfect. Like that storytelling there. Because now we're at that crossroads of
Pun intended.
what do we get it? Yeah, it definitely was. What is Hangman gonna do?
Yeah.
What Hangman are we seeing right now? Is Tully in his head?
Oh yeah, it's FTR in his head.
So-
What if FTR been feeding this guy too? Like
This is
I think that's
yeah.
more.
But again,
fuel.
I would talk. Yeah, I want to talk about that next week because I
Yeah.
don't want to mention what I'm thinking because it kind of goes into the pay-per-view match.
So we
But
know,
yeah, FTR do get the title shot though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they
do
end up
beat the
winning.
best friend.
Can't forget
Yeah,
that.
I think we skipped that whole match.
Yeah.
We're just like we want to talk about the main focus. Is
Oh,
that
man.
that should have been the main? I feel like that should have been the main
Yeah.
event because that just had so much in it, so much.
So this is perfect because
Oh.
this now adds to what we just predicted there with if Young Bucks are going to screw Kenny and Hangman, it's also in a match where FTR is going to be present. So everything is just together here. You know what I mean? Everything like that match at
They
All
do
Out
that well.
is going to be crazy.
They tie everything well. They
Yeah.
tie everything very well, and I feel like this is what you want because you don't want loose ends.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want loose ends with booking because I feel like we have to remember though the Young Bucks and FTR still haven't gotten that match, and I love that they didn't touch in the gauntlet.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll say that. I love that they didn't touch in the gauntlet because until we get a straight up tag match, I don't want them to touch.
And then speaking of All Out, they've announced that we're going to have a Casino Battle Royal. Now, a lot of people attribute Casino Battle Royal with obviously the buy-in. It's happened more times than not. But with the participants that they named this week, I highly doubt that this ends up being a buy-in. But then to Ray's point, it could be to get people to buy the pay-per-view. So they announced that Darby and Lance Archer were the first two participants. They had the graphic on the screen to be in the Casino Battle Royal. Then we had this segment where Archer obviously squashes someone. It's Lance's thing. Now he's doing it on Dynamite in front of a crowd.
Or Sean Maluda.
Yeah.
Sean Maluda. Because this is Sean Maluda, a man that's been on TV before. Who's a part of the CWC. He has a big, a part of that, Anoa'i family.
Yeah.
And he had no chance.
Was this a shot? Was this a shot?
Maybe, showing that Lance Archer is the real big dog. No
Yeah.
pun intended. Or maybe.
But we
But
had
yeah, Lance Archer just decimated. But then we get to
Ate
the
him for
cream of the
breakfast.
crop here.
Yeah.
It's gonna be. Oh man.
I was
Keep
confused.
it going, guys.
I was so confused at who was coming out here. I know Jake on the mic and Jake's got to calm down the mic, by the way. The guy I don't think has a stop button. I think he goes on too much, and I don't think he knows the pause you have to do in between people talking. He kind of just
no one
overtalks him.
I don't think anyone tells him what's coming next. Sometimes I feel like he's just I'm gonna keep cutting a promo, and it's Jake, let us digest what you're saying and let us get into the theme song.
Yeah. Well,
No joke though. Did they change the theme song?
that's what I mean. I was so
'Cause
confused.
I could not recognize who was coming out. I'm like, wait, is someone making a debut? Who is it?
I think
and then
it's
I
the
see
Team
Ricky
Taz.
Starks in them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. Oh, wait, but this is where we get that announcement. Taz officially calling them now
Yeah.
Team Taz.
Yeah.
So now Team Taz is also in this Casino Battle Royal. And my God.
That's a lot of people. You got Lance
That's-
Archer, Brian Cage, Ricky Starks, Darby Allin. That's star-studded. So that makes it's tough to see that this being a pre-show match, but again, could be to boost the pay-per-view buys.
Could be.
Yeah.
I guess it's gonna be. We have to wait and see. But my biggest thing, and again, I'll save what I think about it next week. But I hope Brian Cage and Lance Archer never touch.
Never touching it. Yeah.
They can't touch in that match.
No.
They
That's
need
need
to
to be
save
saved.
that because that was the biggest thing last night. I was like, don't let them fight. Don't let them fight. Don't let them fight. Let whatever happens after with Darby coming out and everything, let that happen.
That's a big
But
pay-per-view
don't
match. Yeah.
let them fight yet.
Yeah.
Not yet.
No. That Full Gear if it fits for sure, or if they want to wait, they could prolong it to Revolution next year if they can. Or this needs to be a big fight main event with these two going at it. But then Darby coming out. Darby, guy's an instant star. Even with the crowd that was there at 15% capacity, they were all chanting for Darby. Darby, when his music hits, the crowd pops. they've built a megastar already with this kid, and he's so young, and he's got a lot to give with AEW still. Hopefully, and as long as he stops jumping off bridges, then we're okay. But he came out and
that was
brawled with
insane.
Ricky.
Just that was insane. And then you see what he comes out to do. Poor Ricky though. Like Ricky's just getting murdered every time he comes out.
He picked the wrong guy to fight with. I'm just saying.
I really thought that was gonna be a match at the. I thought that was gonna be like a buy-in match, just Ricky versus Darby Allin, and I don't mind that they're gonna be in this Battle Royal segment now. Like that's gonna help and let them get whatever they're gonna get out, and then hopefully push them on to something else. So I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Can't wait to see who else is in this Battle Royal. It's gonna be fun. And again, future AEW World Title match. So whoever they pick to win this is going to be probably the next storyline of whoever comes out of MJF and Jon Moxley. So that'll be interesting to see who they have for that. Unless Wardlow ends up finding his way in and he wins and MJF wins, and then you got a predicament there. But we'll save that for predictions next week.
Yeah.
Speaking of MJF, him and Moxley had their contract signing. Man, was a crowd ever hot for Jon Moxley. That was a championship welcome, man. That just shows you that no matter what, Jon Moxley is the top guy in AEW. He's a guy everyone cheers for. He's their champion, and they give him the proper champion introduction. I had goosebumps watching Jon Moxley come out and him coming out, where he usually comes out, and then just he was feeling it too. It took him a while before he finally started walking towards the ring because he was. Yeah,
I feel like he was trying to accept the crowd. He was trying to be like, even like in. I forgot to mention earlier, Jericho, when he was doing his entrance earlier in the night, he just he wanted
soaking
to take
it in, man.
Like it was amazing to see. But the crowd to MJF, I love it.
Yeah,
I love the heat that he gets. It's the perfect timing to finally get a title shot now.
Yeah,
like he's that hated. He is that hated.
I love him selling the injury.
Awesome.
It's fantastic. I mean, he's just walking with the walker, and he's got his whole campaign team. And then he actually cut a really solid promo. That was, and MJF is the king of promos. You're not gonna have this guy come out in the mic and have a botch promo. He's gonna deliver every single time. I guarantee you, he writes his promos and he studies them. Because he comes out and it's fluid. He doesn't botch. He doesn't forget a line. I feel like all his promos are fluid and he gets them off and he puts so much effort into them. That's what makes him a very, very good heel. And especially at the end when he brought up Renee Young saying, that hot wife of yours, let her know I'm single.
I loved that. I feel like, again, though, the best thing about it, you have so many veterans in that locker room. They have to be helping it. They have to mold him into a mega heel now. They have to mold him. And again, I'm not going to say who I think is winning till next week, but they have to mold him to be the most hated guy right now.
Oh, yeah.
And shout out to Mark Sterling, though. His lawyer, his quote-unquote lawyer, is a actual tri-state indie wrestler.
Okay. I was going to ask
Mark
that
Sterling.
This week. Yeah.
Yeah, he is. Tiff was texting me last night and she couldn't put his name. And I'm like, yeah, it's Mark Sterling. He's wrestled at Create a Pro where MJF is trained as well under the tutelage of Brian Myers and Pat Buck. And Smart Mark made the segment even funnier. Just him trying to yell at Moxley might not want to do that. Because even Moxley mentions it okay, so I'm banned from hitting it on him, but see you guys next week.
So he's gonna face the lawyer next week, and if he says so the
Paradigm Shift,
that's it, is available for Moxley to use next week on his lawyer. So that'll be funny to see next week how that goes down. Him being a wrestler, we know, but as far as TV wise, we don't know he's a wrestler. So it'll be interesting to see if he's going to be out there in khakis.
I feel like he's probably not gonna. Yeah, he's probably not gonna wrestle. He's gonna try to act like this lawyer character. He's gonna be very scared and everything like that, which you still should be when you're facing Jon Moxley.
Yeah.
This man, like they said last night, it's not someone you want to see in a dark alley.
No.
He's going to beat the ever-living shit out of you.
Living crap out of you, yeah.
Yeah.
Kilroy said best in the chat. Page 17 for the win.
Basically.
Yeah. So
Basically.
AEW World Championship, all out MJF and Jon Moxley, sure to be a big match. Speaking of championships, though, they ran a promo that got me absolutely extremely hyped for the AEW Women's World Championship. They had the Thunder Rosa and Hikaru Shida promo / contract signing / getting ready for All Out. Oh my God! With the announcement last week when like the Thunder Rosa caught me out of nowhere, just off. I was just thrown off. Like I can't even talk right now. I was just so thrown off last week when Thunder Rosa came on. I'm like, what? Like, I'm like, okay, so maybe there's something building here with NWA, and then they had this promo this week with Corgan was in this promo this week, and they were showing NWA footage. They were showing They're mentioning the NWA belt and how Thunder Rosa won it. I was going, okay. And then Corgan said in this promo that he's loving to have a working relationship with AEW. So they must be partnered. They must be a working relationship here.
I feel like Nick Aldis said it best. In wrestling, you want to make money.
Yeah.
And it's going to be smart for both of these companies to work together because the amount of talent NWA can use, but also give. Because if you think about it,
right.
NWA has Thunder Rosa, has Nick Aldis. Imagine this, and this is something that someone brought up last night, the chance of Homicide being on AEW television is a possibility now.
Hey.
So there's so many things they can do, and I feel like this is great. I feel like this improves not only AEW's women's division, but also NWA's and just the wrestling world in general, because now this brings big interest into that concept of who are we going to see next?
Right.
Who's going to make that jump, or who are we going to see cross-branded? And also, this match has that big fight feel now, because Thunder Rosa is still the NWA Women's Champion. So imagine this could be this could be history making now.
Yeah.
Of her working out with both belts. And it's like you said, no one saw it coming. It was rumored, people were saying, oh, she should come to AEW. She should come to AEW. But it's there was no real possibility because she's under contract. But now with this,
right.
It's well, there's a chance.
Yeah. And then, God, you just think about it. There's a lot of people on AEW's roster who I think would love working NWA because they wrestle that style of wrestling. Guys like FTR, who I imagine they're probably a front runner of trying to get them partnered with them so they could go over and have a couple of matches over there. Same guy like Sean Spears. I'm sure Cody Rhodes is going to be part of this partnership if they do have something like this. Him showing up in NWA one time, paying homage to his father and having an old school type match over there. The possibilities are endless with an NWA and AEW partnership. I think if they are partnering together, this is the smartest business decision that they've ever made to date in their young life here at AEW. And I could see it.
And if I'm not mistaken with NWA, the tag team champions are still the Rock and Roll Express.
Yeah, I think so.
So maybe some groundwork has been laid already.
Yeah, I think it's been for a while now. And then I could see for sure maybe, I don't know if a pay-per-view or maybe a special event. I could say maybe a pay-per-view, but I could see an NWA, AEW cross-branded pay-per-view, kind of like what New Japan does with Ring of Honor with the Supercard, and then their other events in the world. They had the Best in the World tournaments, or their there's another tournament they do with New Japan. I can't really think of the name off the top of my head, but when they cross-brand pay-per-views, they can do a similar style with NWA and AEW. So I'm all for it. I hope this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship and relationship and business relationship with NWA. Again, that promo was complete hype. They signed the contract. They had Rosa even trying to grab for the title, and then Hikaru saying, no! and then Thunder Rosa got into her face, and they had that little graphic stare down there. So I cannot wait. That has potential to be one of the best matches of the night, Thunder Rosa and Hikaru Shida. If you guys don't know what Thunder Rosa is about, you are not going to be disappointed when she brings her stuff over to AEW, man. She is one of the top ones in the game.
Definitely.
It's Dark Order. We got to talk about this segment. Got to talk about the Dark Order. Now, we made mention of it earlier with John Silver getting slapped by Mr. Brody Lee. And Yeah, actually, I just seen the chat. Kilroy says the NWA just tweeted out that the NWA has received a video message featuring a challenge for the 10 pounds of gold on September 15th at Primetime Live. Ooh, could it be an AEW person crossing over? That would be interesting. I think that would be the time to cross-promote. Thunder Rosa comes over here. We'll send someone over there to challenge Aldis. If I can think of anyone off the top of my head. I can't. For the life of me, I'm thinking of tag team. Like I don't know what Cody Rhodes' deal is unless it's Cody Rhodes. But that's what I was gonna say now.
Yeah. I would think maybe that's why he's gonna be out for some time.
Yeah.
Maybe send him to NWA.
To travel there, quarantine, all that stuff. Yeah.
Maybe.
The time frame fits. But yeah, Dark Order though. Gotta talk about this. So they came out carrying a coffin, and I'm like, oh God. Like, I don't know. This is already going to be hilarious. And when they eventually open the coffin, 10 is in there, and he's dressed like he had a shirt or Cody Rhodes' jacket over his head. He had the stick-on nightmare tattoo on his neck. Oh, this was just hilarious. This was like a prelude to their championship celebration. Brody Lee comes out. The guy is on like cloud 9. The guy's so happy with that belt. And it looks good on Brody Lee, that championship belt. Oh my God. I don't know if we're going to see another TNT champion anytime soon because it just fits. It helps with the building of the Dark Order to put them on top, and it just makes Brody Lee that much more bigger of a player here in AEW.
He looks believable. He looks believable as a champion, and I feel like this was a perfect time right now. Like now the Dark Order feels like it's finally that destructive faction we needed. Like it finally has that degree to it. And now it's just continuing to grow too. So it's like, now you want this, you want to see what's going to go next. And it's funny though, with that little bit of the casket segment, I was like, why do I feel like someone's going to meme it up to that music of everyone?
Oh my God. Yeah.
I just saw it a little while ago and they did it. Like, you know, the one I'm talking about, right?
Yep,
With the casket and dancing. And that's what they were trying to do. And it happened. I'm like, oh my God. It's
now I gotta go look at this after. I gotta go see this. But yeah, it's great. And then just Brody bringing up that he said like where the Dark Order was last year at this point, and it's crazy how much they've come along. Like he's like saying like, you know, the Dark Order was nothing, and I was at home, you know, getting in jail. He said. Actually, I think he said earlier this year. I don't think he said last year. I think it was earlier this year he said. I can't remember because AEW wasn't a thing last year.
Yeah, I think he wanted to. I think he meant like earlier this year as well.
Yeah.
And I like how he has to bring that up. Like, oh yeah, I was in jail basically. Like
quote unquote jail. We know what that means.
Yeah. So, but it's great to see. And the ending segment though, the ending part of this was so good that again, this could have been the go home show.
Yeah. I mean, they introduced Anna Jay as 99, so she has a number. So they jumped from 10 to 99, and she's.
Does that mean there's 100 members of this damn group now?
I don't know.
Like, where are the rest of these members?
I think that from 10 to 98 must be the Creepers.
I guess so.
That's Creeper 45. That's Creeper 62. That's Creeper 37 over there. He's a good guy.
I like 42. 42 is very good.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. 43 is just an asshole. But she's referred to as a Queen Slayer. I don't know if that's another shot at the King Slayer in a sense. I don't know if this was another subtle, you know, to Brody Lee bringing up some stuff.
How she was the one to choke out Brandy. Yeah. Just a little shot at them or anything. But
you know what? Brody Lee says something too that I think Tiff would have taken offense to. He says that there's, you know, we're not giving any shots to any more independent talent or like crappy independent talent, so there's no open challenges. So I'm like, ooh, that's a shot. That's a shot to indie talent people.
I like it. I like it though. I like that he did it because technically he shouldn't even want to defend the belt.
Yeah.
He just wants to keep it around him. So there's not going to be an open challenge. There's not going to be, he's going to be a prize fighter in a sense.
Yeah.
You're going to have to pay me in order to fight me.
Yeah. And he's going to have his goons. Just make sure he wins every single time.
It makes sense.
It's perfect. It's perfect. But yeah, the ending segment, chaos. Dustin, QT, Scorpio, Matt Cardona, and the last two guys there, Matt Cardona and Scorpio, are two guys that could see for future title shots. So it'll be interesting to see how they kind of play that into it.
Yeah, it was funny though. The minute that happened, and I'm like, let me start counting. It's like, okay. Immediately, I hit up Tiff. I'm like, so we're gonna get Team Cardona versus the Dark Order, right? Like this has to happen now. And right when we come back from commercial, the graphic appears.
Yep.
It's gonna be I guess not to mention the other company, but like a Survivor Series style matchup.
Yeah.
At All Out.
That'll be interesting.
I'm all in for it. I'm all in for it. Like this is gonna be a great match.
Pun intended.
It's like we do this so much, we have to throw in those puns. Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun. So Dark Order team just keeps getting stronger, getting bigger, because we've seen her best friend, or I guess her teammate from the Women's Tag Team Championship or Tag Team Cup, Ty Conti, who's at ringside. My girl, oh man, I was a big fan of her, and when I was watching WWE and NXT, she was my number one favorite, and I remember getting crap from people, and man, she's sick. She's so good in the ring. I think we saw that in the tournament, that her jiu-jitsu background and her taekwondo background plays a lot into as a very, very good player in the women's division. So she got handed the contract, join us, and she hugged it out with Anna Jay. So it looks like we're getting another female prodigy. So Brody is just going to come out now with both women on either side. He's just going to look like an absolute emperor of this Dark Order here.
Man, I feel like by a year from now, the Dark Order is just gonna be so many. There's gonna be a Dark Order A, a Dark Order B, because it's gonna keep growing.
It's gonna be like NWO, the Wolfpack and the regular.
Basically, because the amount of members, look at that stage last night. The stage is filled with them, and then it's great. It's great to see. But I think we kind of skipped the match, Kyle.
What match?
We skipped the 8-man.
Did I not write that down?
We did.
We did skip over it. Oh my god. I gotta talk about it then. So we had an 8-man, and I guess this new, I don't know if you call this faction, because Eddie Kingston didn't say it was a faction, but the Butcher and the Blade with the Lucha Brothers faced off against Sonny Kiss, Joey Janela, Griff Garrison, and I don't remember the fourth one because I didn't write.
Brian Pillman Jr.
Brian Pillman Jr.
How do you forget Brian Pillman Jr.?
He got a Dynamite match finally. I remember people going crazy on Twitter about that.
Yeah, I popped for that. I popped for the announcement because I'm like, okay, so now we're gonna get a lot more Brian Pillman Jr., which I love it because again, I want to see Pillman on TV again. I want to see Pillman eventually. I want Tully to grab him. Because I feel like Brian Pillman can be a dastardly heel. Because right now we're getting him like a baby face, but I want him to be a heel. You can see that dastardly heel in him. And this match was interesting because I feel like it was a little bit of I don't want to say a tune-up, but I want to say it was like a showcase for what Eddie Kingston is going to bring to the table now. This was okay, this is this faction in a sense, or this alliance. Because I don't think they're really a group. They're more of just an alliance that Eddie Kingston's trying to keep together.
The Indie Roots team.
Yeah. I feel like he winked last week when he put them together.
I saw that.
And then he announces last night that all 5 of them are in the Casino Battle Royal. Is Eddie Kingston planning have them do the dirty work
and he wins it? Yeah. Maybe. That would be interesting to see. But if they're a faction, I don't want to see an 8-man tag every week. Hopefully, if there is a faction, if it seriously is, and it's not what we think it is, they should be coming out on 2v2 with Eddie Kingston in the corner.
Yeah, we don't need 4 8-man tags every week.
Yeah, it's a little chaotic. A lot goes on. It's hard to even do notes for. So I only took notes about what Eddie Kingston said and after the match, saying that they're all in the Casino Battle Royal. So I cannot wait to see them all and see how that plays out. A lot of stories going into the Battle Royal. What happened in the beginning of AEW with Taz and Lance Archer. Now you have this. So there's a lot of factors going into this Battle Royal. I'm pumped for this.
Definitely. I'm ready.
The small women's segment, which again, I do agree that they need to be longer. It's just we're getting getting to a point where there's kind of like too many stories going on. It's hard to fit people in, but the division needs to grow a little bit more, I think, before they can start featuring more people. I think if you're going to put people on Dynamite, there's got to be a reason why. That's what Dark's for. Dark's for if you don't have a story for two superstars just to go at it, you put them on Dark. Dynamite's kind of saved for like storylines. So I do agree also too that there should be more stories for the women's division, but they kind of need to build it a little bit first. So they had Big Swole against Reba, Britt, and Penelope, mostly against Reba and Penelope because I guess Britt is a quote unquote not ready yet. And Baker said,
I'm guessing they were hoping for something, but I guess she's still not ready to compete, sadly.
Yeah.
So
hopefully she will be by all out. Hopefully that I'm hoping that she's fully 100% that she can have some sort of match, or if she's at least like 80 to 90%, I imagine they'd have a match, but it probably wouldn't be too long at All Out. Probably a quick match, and Big Swole would get the upper hand. And Baker even said in this match, like, if you beat us, you'll have any match and any type of match you want one-on-one. So now that Big Swole ended up beating him it was a really very kind of weird 3-minute match, and then there's the accidental crutch shot, and it's just a weird match.
that was just
it's ugly.
It was the weirdest like ending, and I was like, why? Like, I get what they're trying to sell here, but it's like, how do you bump off of hitting someone with a crutch?
Yeah.
Like, Reba got knocked out by hitting someone.
Yeah.
like, that was insane to me. But hey, I guess now we have the potential of Big Swole versus Britt.
Yeah, they didn't really announce it yet, so we kind of have to see what they're going to do. I think they're kind of waiting on Britt's injuries to find out what goes on with that. And if it doesn't happen at All Out, then it'll be on a Dynamite, I'm sure, in the weeks to follow.
Definitely.
Main event was interesting. I was weirded out that I thought the gauntlet would end the show, but Sammy G and Matt Hardy had their tables match to end the show, and to say this was a chaotic match is saying it lightly. This was it was just two guys that it looked like they absolutely just hate each other, and then beating the ever-living crap out of one another to the point where they both were bleeding.
Yep. Like, even in my notes, I have the matches, like, what they were and everything. I don't even have this as a tables match. I have it as the Bloody Massacre.
Yeah.
Because they just went to town on each other.
CCW match.
And basically, and it was mild in a sense, but just the amount of blood at the end, it was insane. Like, I was hoping, like, TNT isn't going to get mad for this match because the amount of blood Sammy was losing, the amount of blood that you see that image of Matt, like that plasma coming out, like, God.
That's twice.
Like, it's lucky that Matt has the red streaks, because if not, it just looks like
that sucks for him, man. He's bled a lot the last couple of weeks, man. He's shed his fair share of blood. I think he's shed more blood than anyone in AEW so far, and that's saying a lot because Cody used to bleed himself every other week. So, but yeah, and then Sammy wins with Matt Hardy's own table being set up, the deleted table with the chair. The chair underneath even got me too. I'm like, oh my God, these two are just absolutely nuts. And Matt Hardy goes through, and Sammy Guevara wins. But the big story was what happened after is Orange Cassidy's music hits, and he comes running out of, I don't know where, just left field. I just seen him running across the stage, and then just spears Jericho on commentary. Yeah.
I love that someone clipped it perfectly where you see, like, Sammy Guevara, like, celebrating that he won, but then you just see Orange. And it's like, where did he come from?
And he ran fast. He's a fast runner. For a guy that's so lazy.
We only have, like, 2 minutes left.
Run!
So make it count. And he just sped. And I think to the point that, like, legit, I think Jim Ross got mad. Because I feel like he might have accidentally tackled Jim Ross as well.
I mean, going that speed, I don't know if you can control yourself.
You see him push Orange Cassidy, like, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, oh, poor Jim. He wasn't meant to get hit here.
For a guy that's so lazy, he can run pretty fast. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, man.
But him and Jericho go at it. Just they're prepping for their Mimosa Mayhem match at All Out, which I'm still. Oh man, that's just, to me, guys, don't take this as too critical. This just screams Vince Russo. Like, was Jericho on the phone with Russo before making this match? A match where the ring is surrounded by tubs of mimosa is like late AEW or late WCW crap. I don't know how I feel about that.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to
it.
I told Tiff that we need to actually get mimosas and just sip on it while this match is happening.
Yeah.
Because I'm actually looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to what's going to happen. I can see Jericho going into like a tub of mimosa or something like that. Like, it's going to be interesting, or at least I should say it's going to be entertaining. It's going to be entertaining, if that.
I think me and Tiff brought it up in the last show. I think it's going to be proud and powerful because the way that they couldn't swim, or was it Ortiz couldn't swim in the water in the Stampede match. So I think he's going to go in again. He's going to come out, maybe he comes out drunk. Oh, man. Something's going to happen in that match. It's going to be funny. But, okay, I am looking forward to it. It's just the idea. I think it's more
very wonky. Yeah, it's very wonky, the idea on paper.
I think more, for me, it's a story that needs to kind of end after. I think the Jericho and Orange Cassidy, this should be the payoff, and they can kind of move on from here. Hopefully it'll be good. I'm praying for good things for that. And that was Dynamite this week. Solid episode. Again, the end was a little wonky, but it was a pretty good episode. And we're going to the go home next week for some solid all-out matches. We got, I believe, 6 or 7 announced matches so far. We have the World Tag Team Championships, Omega and Hangman versus FTR. We have the Dark Order versus the Natural Nightmares, Matt Cardona and Scorpio Sky, or I guess we can say Team Cardona against the Dark Order. It's an interesting duo or 4 here. It's none of the grunts. It's Mr. Brody Lee, Colt Cabana, Uno, and Grayson. So basically they're top guys in the Dark Order facing off against QT, Dustin, Scorpio, and Cardona. We have Shida against Thunder Rosa for the AEW Women's World Championship. Again, all eyes are going to be on that match. If something is going to happen, will Thunder Rosa win the title and be a dual brand champion? That would be something to see.
That would be insane.
Obviously, this is probably going to be the main event, Moxley and MJF for the AEW World Championship. We have Jericho and Orange Cassidy in Mimosa Mayhem match. Again, we just talked about that. And then we have the Casino Battle Royal winner getting an AEW World Championship match. So interesting to see what comes out of that and what comes out of All Out in general. All Out looks stacked. It looks like a very, very, very good pay-per-view. It looks like it could be one of the best pay-per-views of the year, especially with a lot of the storylines going into it are very intense and look very, very good right now. So I am super excited.
It finally feels like with this, I feel like we're finally getting that pay-per-view feel again.
Yeah.
Like now you want to watch it. Now you definitely want to buy it.
100%.
And I can't wait for our talk next week, because next week we'll get down into what we really think. And there's a lot to predict here.
Yeah, so I got to take the weekend here to think about what I think. It's going to be interesting, and it's actually going to factor into next week's show. So I imagine we'll probably be back next Thursday on for the predictions, or next Friday, depending on what all our schedules are like. So it'll come down to like I'll make my initial predictions on pencil, and then I'll put it to pen on Thursday morning. So we'll see what Dynamite next week is like. But until then, guys, make sure you are following us on social media. Make sure you're following the podcast and the network. The podcast at All Elite Pod and All Elite Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Same thing with the network at No Holds Barred Network on Facebook and Instagram, and NHB Network on Twitter. Very important to keep up with the updates then on there, or you can check out the noholdsbarrednetwork.com, where you can read articles and catch up with all the latest podcasts, and whatever you need to find is on that website. If you're listening to us on all audio platforms, thank you so much for downloading and listening back to the episode, guys. You have no idea how much that means to us. It means a lot, especially you guys on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Player FM, Overcast, Deezer. Wherever you are getting your podcasts on the go, you can find us here at the All Elite Podcast and all the great podcasts at the No Holds Barred Network. So make sure you are searching No Holds Barred Network to find all those great podcasts. If you are a listener on Apple Podcasts as well, make sure you're leaving us a generous 5-star rating and a comment to let us know how we are doing. It does really help in the chartable side of things. So thank you very much to all who have done that. And then last but not least, make sure you're checking out the brand new NHB store, or the No Holds Barred Network store. A lot of cool looking shirts on there, guys, with some new designs. There's stickers, there's coffee mugs, there's masks. Yes, that's right. You can get masks on there, some AEP masks, and a lot of fun things on there too. And that is the Teespring. So link it in the description below of the YouTube version of this podcast. So come on over, click the link, or go over to our Twitter account and check out the link there for our new No Holds Barred Network store. And lastly, but not least, thank you very much to Darren of These Wolves and them for doing the song Dead to Me. Is the official theme song of the All Elite podcast. So Darren, you get a shout out every single week. You help provide more music for much other podcasts on this network. Darren, you have no idea how that means to us. It means a lot. Thank you very much. So guys, go check out Darren. Show him some love. Follow him on all his socials.
If I'm not mistaken, I'll actually be seeing Darren tomorrow with Tiff, as we'll be at Synergy. So that's going to be a good time. We're going to party it up. We'll try to have some fun pre-AEW All Out style. But also, don't forget, guys, speaking of Synergy, for those indie fans, we are running a contest. You still have time till tonight. We'll be announcing the winner as we partnered with Fight to give you a free code for Synergy. So go to our Twitter right now at the No Holds Barred Twitter and retweet that tweet. We'll be picking a winner tonight, and one lucky winner is getting that code to watch Heat Seekers for free.
Look at that, for free. That's right, guys. Free.
So,
Free. So, yeah. It's a good episode today, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you tuned in live on YouTube, if you tuned in after and watched right after, or if you're one of our on-the-go listeners, thank you guys each and every single week for showing your support and helping us stay here on the air each and every single week. So thank you very much to all. I am your host, as always, the self-proclaimed greatest host, Kyle Masters. Today, I am very specially guest-starred, joined by Ray. He is, you know what, I'm going to let him do his own outro here. You know what, Ray, let him know who you are, and let him know where they can follow you.
Oh, thank you so much, Kyle. Once again, guys, I am the Loyal Ray Ramundo. You can follow me all platforms. It is Ray_Ramundo. And yeah, you'll see me a lot more on the channel. You've seen me a bunch this week anyway. So catch us on Under the Ropes, catch us on Indie Talks. New episode possibly dropping this Sunday. So yeah, you'll get to see me get chopped a bunch at indie shows. So yeah, we'll see you guys then. Thank you so much, Kyle, for having me on, and we'll see you guys soon.
Take care, guys.
With me